Welcome everyone, I'm here with SBR contributor Dave Galakoff, and he will be talking about the NBA preseason injuries. The OKC and the Wizards have been the two most affected teams with injuries in this preseason. In your article, you mentioned players such as Kevin Durant, Bradley Beal, Reggie Jackson, and Paul Pierce. Tell us about their injuries and how this will affect the team's performance.
Sure. Well, yeah, I think if you're looking at the early season lines next week, those are the two contenders that have a bunch of injuries right now that you really want to be wary of. There's other ones, of course, Paul George, and he's out for the year. There's some other ones, but if you're for this topic, we're specifically looking at contenders. We're specifically looking at early season injuries. So let's start with the Thunder. You got Durant out, of course, for a little while, and then you got Jackson out for the first few games. So if you're betting this team early on, you're likely going to see low totals, but you might want to even bet under those totals because we're talking about 43% of their offense gone. You know, the Thunder last year played a portion of the season without Russell Westbrook. They were able to sustain because Reggie Jackson stepped in and was a decent fill-in at point guard. But at Durant's position, there isn't a guy like that right now. They're probably going to use some Jeremy Lamb, some Anthony Morrow, but there isn't a guy that's going to come in and score 32 a game and be an NBA MVP type of player. So I think you got to look at under with the Thunder, that rhymes, and you might want to look at betting against them too, because it's going to be really interesting to see how this team survives in the month of November. Now the other team is the Washington Wizards. Tough break for them. They lose Brad Beal for a while. He's one half of what I would say is among the best backcourts in the NBA. Him and John Wall, of course, up and coming. They were expecting to take that next step after a solid performance in the playoffs last year. So that's on hold for the time being. Beal's really important to this team because the Wizards were actually fifth in three-point field goal percentage, as I learned to speak English here, last season. So Beal is he's a key part of that. He's also not only a perimeter threat, but second scoring on the team. So that's a big loss for them. They don't necessarily have anybody that can fill in. Actually, one guy that could have filled in for a little bit is Paul Pierce, but he's also going to miss a few games. So you're betting the Wizards early. This is going to be an interesting bet. I would be very careful betting this team anywhere on the road. I'd also look at unders. They're a good defensive team. So I think the same thing goes with both teams, the Thunder and the Wizards. Look at unders. And I think I would not be betting either of these teams on the road at all until I see more from them. And then even at home, you got to see how they sort of gel with the new lineups right now.
Perfect. Thank you, Dave, for your information and for your insight. This is Sylvia for SBR Picks.
The SBR network offers free sports picks and game breakdowns, big money free betting contests year-round, a real-time Vegas-style odds monitoring service, and much more. So come see for yourself. To stay updated on SBR news and promotions, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+, and do be sure to subscribe to the Sportsbook Review YouTube channel to catch all our daily sports shows.